Falling everywhere. Hi everybody. Beautiful Saturday, beautiful sunny day. Could be outside, and I might eventually move on out from here to go outside, but currently I have my cat sleeping down here, and Leo has just gone back into his little cage, and Sunny, she's investigating my bedroom, so it gives me an opportunity to get little Apani out and talk to you about mandatory enrichment for snakes. And I'm wondering what bells would go ringing in many people's heads should they hear it's mandatory to offer enrichment to your snakes. That would be very interesting, actually, should that ever occur. And honestly, to be honest, I would truly hope that it would occur, to be honest, that every snake is able to have enrichment in their life. And I'm not talking about just wing-dinging up their enclosures, you could say, and putting all the bells and whistles into their enclosures. That's certainly a start, and to make that mandatory would be absolutely wonderful. That means putting in things for them to climb on and different things for them to lay on. And I know many people are going to say, well, I can't do that because I keep my snakes in a tub and there's just not enough room to offer enrichment. Precisely. There isn't enough room really to offer enrichment. Yeah, you can throw in a pile of some plants with leaves on it so that they can go up underneath it, and a couple of different types of hides. One being a box and one being made of plastic, or the box being cardboard, made of different materials, different feels for them, textures for them to investigate. And you can I don't know really, when you think about a tub, what really, maybe a smooth type rock in there that they can climb on as well. And like Apani has a music box, an old wooden music box that he loves to use as a hide. He absolutely loves it. He loves his corkbark. He loves his hammocks. I don't see him on them very often, and I'm about to do a few changes in his enclosure today while he's out, and he'll be up exploring while I'm doing that, which leads me on to the next form of enrichment, that snakes need to be able to get out. Snakes need to go exploring. Do you need to go exploring? Look at this. Oh yes. Oh, we do. Oh, I know that is up there, and I know my mum's head is here, and her glasses, which he's always loved to explore. But if it was also made mandatory that each of your snakes, at least a couple of times a week, had to be brought out and allowed to stretch out and to do some exploring, apart from what you have offered in their enclosures. Mandatory to then not only what you've done in their enclosures, but to regularly change things up for them and make things different for them on a regular basis. And people think that change is something snakes don't like at all. that they like things to stay the same. A little bit like snakes don't want to come out of their enclosures. You just leave them in there all the time and they'll be happy as Larry, and that is just not true at all. And I really wish that for those that do say that they would stop saying it, stop telling people that snakes just want to be left alone. Because what are you going to do? Honestly, what are you going to do? It might be, okay, a little one like this is what it is and no big deal. And, you know, Apani's got a little bit more growing to do and can reach up to almost a metre. Well, can reach a metre in length. But they're still not very big snakes. But if you think about you getting yourself a coastal, a Bradley, like Tessa, Jessie, and you've never ever spent any time with them, you've not socialised them at all, and all of a sudden there is a need to start getting that snake out regularly, but for whatever reason, and all of a sudden you're faced with this great big 6, 7, 9 foot, in my case, snake that is defensive, aggressive, and just says you're not coming into my space. Forget it. Be confronted with that. That would be, I wouldn't want to do it. So, but you don't need to do that. You don't have to be in that situation if you have got them out as little ones and started socializing them. And it's upsetting to me also that, you know, I love the educational shows and I believe in them immensely for kids and adults to go to and to learn from. And you're probably a metre in length, aren't you, Apani? But you're just not very, very fat. But he's healthy. He hasn't eaten for a few weeks, but that's okay. That's all right, because you're just not feeling like eating. Hey. But these educational shows, they're wonderful and they're amazing, they're fantastic, and yes, keep them going and keep doing them. But I look at it and I see snakes that, and other reptiles that are selectively chosen to have social time. And you hear them say, this is a snake that I'm going to use in an education program, but I'm going to have to spend a lot of time with it and so forth. And I understand that. I understand you would have to do that. And you've got 30 other snakes sitting there that aren't given that time because they're not a part of that program. They're not needed for it. So they don't get anything. But the ones that are going to be used for the show are given so much of your time. And that's unfair. Really unfair. And I don't get the mind thing that why wouldn't you want all of your snakes to be social to that degree that you could take them to an education program? Why that one? Well, you know, I know you want different varieties. You know, you don't want to be taking 20 children's python. That would be rather boring. But why should one or two, and generally it's a couple, because you know, you don't want to wear the snake out and stress the snake out too much by taking them to a program every day where they're handled how many times by so many different people. They do have to have a bit of a break and a rest, absolutely. But I just think that's unfair on all the other snakes that would so love to have some enrichment and time out and get to know you. You know, you're the person that they rely on for their life, for their survival. And if you don't think that this, you know, just sitting with them like I am with a pani is not offering your heart to them, then I don't know what else I can say to make people realize how important that part of it all is. So if it were made mandatory to get your snakes out, have some time with them, let them stretch out, mandatory that the environment in which they live has enrichment and changes of enrichment for them, because they don't mind change if you do it right. And if you know your snake, that is. And if you know your snake, you'll know what to put in there. You know what they like. And if you put something in there that they don't, you'll know that too. And you'll remove it. Or you'll be patient and wait it out, because more often than not, they end up loving what it is that you thought they didn't like. So, I want you to think about that. And think about if the whole system changed and that became mandatory. Would you still have snakes? Would you still keep them? Would you still think about having them in your life? Or not? And I think that would wheedle out a lot of people. Wheedle out? Is that how you say it? I don't know. But I think there would be a lot of people that now have snakes that wouldn't have them if that became law. So anyway, Apani's going to have some time out and going to go and do some climbing, because I'm sure that he will absolutely love it, as I know he does. So take care.